All right. How's it going, beautiful people? This is my video discussion. The four songs I chose were Rolling in the Deep, Turning Tables, both by Adele, We Found Love by Rihanna, and then Part of Me by Katy Perry. So, starting off with Rolling in the Deep. So this song it's about heartbreak and kind of like what could have been in a relationship. She talks about like the potential that they had as a couple, about how it was kind of all broken down and washed away after the betrayal of trust in the relationship, and she sings about that. You know, rolling in the deep, kind of talking about how she's in this dark, deep part of mistrust in the relationship, where she knows she can't fix it or get out of this relationship. So yeah, and she talks about we could have had it all that good stuff, right? So, and I think it's really interesting how at the start of the video there's all the glasses filled with water, and they're very still, and it kind of signifies like when the relationship was intact for me, and then once the drums start going, you see all the glasses start to like shake like slowly, and it's kind of and as this drum beat starts to play, she sings, there's a fire starting in my heart, breaking to get out. Right, so it's kind of like her emotions are building. This relationship was perfect, was stagnant, or not stagnant, but was perfect, was moving along consistently, had so much potential, and then it starts kind of shaking and trembling until until it eventually breaks, right? And I think all those glasses filled with water, they really show kind of the fragileness of a relationship, right? I mean, it looks very beautiful when it's all still and perfect, right? But once things start to move, things start to shake, the glasses break, and that's kind of the metaphor in that song. The next song was also by Adele, "Turning Tables." This song was really good. I hadn't heard this song in a long time, and so I was excited to see this on there. I think this song is kind of it's about being afraid to love again after being hurt by someone that you loved in the past. I see it as that, but I also see it as kind of like escaping a bad relationship as well, like a very unhealthy, toxic relationship. And yeah, so when she says, I won't let you close enough to hurt me again," right? So that can be seen in two ways. Like I just said, maybe this is someone new, and you're kind of scared to let them get close to you, or scared to open up because you've been hurt in the past, right? If it's still like a fresh wound on your heart. But I also see it as maybe, you know an abusive relationship, whether physical or emotional. Kind of finally saying enough is enough. You're not going to hurt me anymore. And it's a very sad, but very real feeling that a lot of people go through, after experiencing, the pain of a relationship gone sideways, that they thought was going to be there forever. So, and it is really hard to walk away from something or someone you have loved for so long. But when things go drastically wrong, or the relationship is toxic or abusive, it is hard to get out of those relationships if that person is all you've ever known, or um, your lifeline, right? But you know, it might be better for you to get out of that, or it is better for you to get out of that in the long run. But it's a very hard thing to do, right? Um, so it's kind of a sense of empowerment in that way as well. And I love her stage presence in the video. It was the live version and not the music video. All she needed was just a simple microphone and one guy playing the piano, not a whole band or fancy lights or anything. I mean, it was like a dim lit setting, but that's about it. She wasn't wearing any like a fancy dress or anything crazy. Not over the top on the makeup either. Just it's a very real and I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's a very real feeling. How it's so casual yet so empowering that she's you know being able to express that presence with minimal aspects to her show. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. The next song, "We Found Love" by Rihanna. This song is iconic. Reminds me of middle school. And it talks about being in a passionate but toxic relationship, right? And this is something I know I know all too well from in the past. So she talks about falling in love in a hopeless place. That's the chorus that repeats over and over. And where I kind of see this going is like you fall in love in a hopeless place. Maybe you already have underlying personal issues with yourself. Um, things you haven't fully worked out, and so when someone comes along and they fill those voids, it's so easy to fall in love when you're in such a hopeless place, right? Because this person makes you feel whole. They make you feel things that you couldn't feel yourself. And so that's what makes it so dangerous at the same time is when both people have these issues and are feeling this way, and then they come together, they fill the voids in each other's hearts, but those issues are still there and they're still underlying, and so they create all this toxicity and emotion just running rampant throughout the relationship, and it creates toxicity, and it's very real, and it's very common, and it really is hard when you're so deeply in love with someone to kind of address the unhealthiness of the relationship, especially when you're the only all you have is each other. um, and yeah, so I actually have never seen this music video, which is surprising. I didn't know that there was such like a powerful intro to it. She says in the intro, I wrote it down here. It says, "You almost feel ashamed that someone could be that important, that without you." Sorry, I've butchered that completely. You almost feel ashamed that someone could be that important that without them you feel like nothing. So much so that when it's all gone, you wish you could have all the bad stuff back just to have the good too. Pretty powerful stuff right there, in my opinion. I mean, having been in a relationship kind of similar to the one that she's talking about, it really does resonate with me, and you can kind of feel the emotion in her voice, as you always can with Rihanna. But it is really interesting how right after this very somber and like dark intro, it breaks into this happy, upbeat tune with like a montage of the couple doing like fun stuff together. It's almost to me like a blinding memory of like all the good aspects in that relationship, while also blocking out the darker, more toxic aspects. And then shortly after, the montage kind of shifts to like a montage of bad stuff and toxic stuff, and so it really does show the true ups and downs of an unhealthy relationship, and I think they did a good job directing that. And then the last song, "Part of Me" by Katy Perry. So this song is about the ending of a relationship due to cheating. As you can tell from the intro, she sees her man kind of kissing on someone else at work, and was spying on him, and goes in there and breaks things off, and then the song starts. So yeah, I mean, something that you never want to have happen, but it happens all the time. Having experienced it personally, I understand when she says, days like this, you want to drive away. You almost don't even want to interact with anyone or anything in the heat of that moment. You kind of just only want to interact with yourself and your feelings and the road, and you want to drive far away. No matter how far you go, you just want to keep driving. Doesn't really matter. So I definitely felt her on that one. And then when she said she said she wanted to throw her phone away and find out who's really there for her. I mean, yeah, after being cheated on, it's pretty natural to kind of gravitate towards your closest friends and family. And it's in this moment you kind of realize who your people are, who your closest, most tightly knit circle is. And it's a terrible thing. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, but it does make you stronger in the end. And it makes you even more drawn to loyalty and honesty and respect in your future relationships. And I think these are qualities that should be deeply desired in every romantic relationship. So always turns out to be a lesson, if it's not the true thing. So that is my analysis for this week. Thank you guys for listening.